So I haven't booted up Minecraft Bedrock Edition in a while, but the other day I got a message from a friend asking if I wanted to go ahead and mess around with this add-on that he's been developing for the Minecraft marketplace, and it's very impressive. I've had to basically go ahead and make a video on this because I'm that impressed, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. If this was me probably 4-5 years ago or something like that, sitting there on my Xbox dreaming of the day this would ever happen, a long story short is, it's happened. Welcome, I'm DanRobzProbz. If you have no idea who I am, I'm a massive fan of Flatworld survival, Skyblock challenges with nothing, Oneblocks challenges with nothing, and all these kind of challenge ideas where you're in a void. Oh my god, this is the perfect add-on for someone like me, and probably you guys out there, because you know, this kind of genre is quite big in Minecraft. Okay. So what is this add-on then you're talking about? Well, it's called Sieves Things, and it's priced at 660 Minecoins. It is available as this video has gone live. I will have a link for it in the description of the video. But yeah, I've been given early access to this. It's not paid promotion. I'm not being told to make sure it's good. This is literally 100% DanRobzProbz here, talking from his heart. Okay, I've not been scripting anything, I've not been doing anything. I just wanted to go ahead and pretend like I just purchased this add-on and use it in a way I want to use it as a player who loves that kind of genre, as I've just explained. So what I'm doing is loading the best kind of idea, I think, to show this add-on. So I'm not enabling cheats, look, as you can see. I'm not enabling multiplayer, so that's all that done. Now, obviously, Bedrock Edition has changed quite a bit. I haven't really touched Bedrock for a very long time, but this is very nice. We've got presets now, and the best one to do this is the Void preset, right? No brainer there, to be honest. So anyway, for today, we're going to go ahead and enable this bonus chest little setting here. Now, this will spawn in a little chest with a load of items, which you probably already know, but you don't really need this anymore, though, because Wandering Trader can buy and sell things, which is very interesting now. Quite a lot has changed in Minecraft, modern Minecraft anyway. And yeah, he likes to buy milk buckets, which is quite strange because he's the one who drops them. So yeah, you could get emeralds and then you could buy like saplings that way. Or you could even get lucky and get fire aspect on a sword and then kill a zombie and get baked potatoes that way, sort of thing. So yeah, there's quite a lot of new mechanics, which is kind of cool in the flat world and skyblocky kind of environments that will allow us to do more things. But yeah, I wish just Minecraft would add lava, right? But this add-on does, which is huge. But anyway, show coordinates for normal sake and show Dave plays. Why not, right? Other than that, we don't really need to do anything else here. The only other thing is to slap this in hard. I would put this in hardcore, but unfortunately, if I do, that bonus chest will be non-existent. So yeah, let's go on the world and see what this add-on actually brings us to the table here. We get given this Sieves Things guidebook, which pretty much every add-on has to do this. That's kind of mandatory now. I'm not really going to explain too much about this because it's all pretty much in the crafting table. It's all pretty much knowledge that I know because this is a very similar kind of add-on to a very famous kind of mod, if you like, Java mod called Ex Nihilo. And it's very similar, but it's not exactly the same. So I just want to kind of point that out. So yeah, there's obviously a lot of inspiration gone from that kind of mod, if you like. And yeah, it's not, like I say, exactly the same though. So this is like Feed the Beast's kind of take on it, if you know what I mean. So anyway, how's this going to work? Well, we got a bonus chest full of a load of stuff, but we're missing something very, very important here to grow these saplings, and that is dirt. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make a crafting table. Oh, no, I'm not actually going to go ahead and make a crafting table. What we're going to do is take this one step further, and this add-on actually brings in a new crafting table to the mix. And I really hope I can get all these blocks. Oh my god, we're doing it right so far. So yeah, there's actually a brand new crafting table, like I said, a stone crafting table, which is kind of cool. So yeah, if you are literally in a world with nothing like this, and you've only got cobblestone to your hand, then yeah, that's a way of getting a crafting table. But it also would be the same if you also had a piece of dirt, which I'm going to show you why I'm saying that. So if we put this here, we go ahead and break this, and we'll get another piece of cobble more safely, look, which is good. So what I'm saying about the piece of dirt It's because if we place this, go in here, and because we got enough wood to do this, might need to make some more sticks though, and turn these into planks. Yeah, there we go. So we can make something here called a wooden hammer, which there's a load of hammers. It's not just wooden one. So if I type in this, it kind of goes up in all the tiers. And I believe there is netherite for all these things as well, but I presume you have to put them in the smithing table. Yeah, because we got the hammer though, we can break this and it will turn that into gravel, thus breaking it more finer, right? And then you kind of guessed it. If you break this again, you would get a piece of dirt. And if you are playing like a single block, one block thing with only a grass block, or you've only got a singular piece of dirt because you spawned in on a tree with literally one dirt block on it, yeah, you can get more stone. Watch this. If I punch this, from afar, this works best. But if you are kind of standing on this, like this, I would do something like this, so you don't have an inventory full, and then just kind of spam click. I would imagine it's like right trigger or something like that, or left trigger, right? I would say. And you get a load of stones, look, which is kind of interesting, and you can build out from that one block you've got, if you know what I mean. But for something like this is huge, man. Really huge. So yeah, this mechanic works on grass blocks as well. But you can take this a step even further. So they've added a new tool in here, as well as the hammer called a trowel. And this thing is essentially doing what I just done, but with an item. But the best bit about this is you don't click it like this. You hold your right mouse button. Oh my god, how cool is this? And it takes durability, look. So yeah, you could literally just stand here forever. And if you click, it even goes faster. So if you've got an auto clicker on and go a bit cheaty like that, yeah, that kind of works like that. So that singular piece of dirt, I can get pretty much infinite diorite, granite, and andesite, and cobblestone from it. But anyway, we got our piece of dirt. I guess we could go ahead and grow our tree, right? So let's put that on there. So we got saplings in this chest. And yeah, this isn't working, the sneaking thing. Oh, okay. But their book did tell me, which you haven't read, but I have, that you have to hold either a hoe, a sickle, or a crook. Now, these two things are new, and they're only from this add-on. The crook we're going to go ahead and make, we're going to make the stone one because it's a little bit cheaper. So it's just like this. I'm not sure if this is... Oh, no, it's fine. You can do it either way. Does it work like that? No. I wanted to try, okay? There we go. So we got a crook. Now, what does the crook do? Well, if you hold this and then sneak, yeah, there's a chance of this thing growing. I'm not entirely sure on how big this will grow, like as in the radius away from this, or can we grow 2x2 trees as well? I haven't done that much testing on this, and I honestly don't know if this works for crops, but I imagine it will. Don't quote me on that though, I might be wrong, but we might do a bit of testing if we can get that far. I'm just currently using the wooden axe that I got given in my bonus chest just to chop down some logs here. And it's very important we get 5. But with these acacia ones, because who likes acacia? We're going to go ahead and... Wow, these look pretty orange with this shaders on. We're going to go up here and gather this last one here, I think. There we go. And now, because we've got the crook, this is mainly what this thing's for, is if we break these, there is a chance of getting... We got it straight away. The leaf worm. And what the leaf worm does is essentially infest the leaves and make them into dead leaves. So if we click with this thing onto leaves, it works with any leaves, by the way. You could go ahead and turn these into these dead leaves. And over time, the dead leaves will kind of spread across and infest other leaves and turn them into dead leaves. Okay, all this will make sense in a minute. Why? As you can see, look, that's starting to infest, right? It was only one block, and now it's going to even more. So now what happens when they're infested? Well, if you break them with the crook again, you get a chance of getting sticks and string. Now, I believe it's one or the other, or it can be both. It is kind of done on a loot table. But yeah, as I was saying earlier, we need 5 of these like this, and we could do this, and we get ourselves a sieve, look, which is really nice. Now, I believe, they pretty much catered for every sieve, look. And there's also auto sieves in this as well. Okay, so dead leaves, string, bed. Okay. but it's not really for the bed. It's for the sieve, the string. Because with string, we can make something called a mesh. And yeah, the mesh is quite useful for the sieves. So I think what I'm going to do, though, is be a bit of a chicken here. And make a bed because, yeah, I don't really fancy fighting mobs. Anyway, because we get sticks and we get string, that is the ingredients required for just the basic string mesh. So we're going to go ahead and make one of them. Now, talking about meshes, there is quite a few different varieties. There's diamond, emerald, flint, and iron. And what do the difference do? Well, they drop rarer items. That's it. And what I mean by that is, when we sieve up gravel, there is a chance of getting a variety of different items. And I guess this is where the book is kind of useful if you want to figure out what things drop what. So if we go to the sieve section, go down to sievable blocks, it kind of tells you all the types of blocks that are sievable, which is pretty good in itself. But if we go for gravel, if you like, we'll see it drops flint, coal, iron scrap, copper scrap, diamond scrap, emerald scrap, lapis lazuli, pointed dripstone, and a sniffer egg for some reason, which is quite funny. So that means now we're going to need to go ahead and smash up a load of cobble to turn this into gravel, right? To use it in our sieve. But yeah, we got the mesh in our hand, as you can see, and we just kind of click on this and away it goes. If you want to upgrade this and you're not happy with it, or you've made a mistake, obviously you can just break this and it will drop both things, which is kind of nice in itself. But if you don't want to do it like that, you can just, well, insert it and then shift click, if you know what I mean. And you kind of punch it out sort of thing, or interact with it, right? And the reason for that is because the meshes themselves require the previous tier to upgrade. So as you can see, the flint one requires the string, the iron one requires the flint, diamond one requires the iron, and then the emerald is technically the best, which requires diamond. I'm not sure if it goes to netherite. I don't think so. I think emerald is the best, as I've read in the book, if you know what I mean. But anyway, for now, we're going to use the string because we don't actually have any flint right now. Yes, we could get it by just smashing gravel down, right, with our hands or whatever. But we want to use the sieve, right? So anyway, we could go ahead and break this and we'll get a load of gravel, which is kind of nice. And the other thing, which is kind of cool, is, as you've already seen, when we break this stuff, we get gravel as well. But also if we break these. So if you break the diorite, granite, or andesite, because they're technically just stones, right? You get gravel too, which is kind of interesting. But how can we speed this process up? That's what I want to know. Wow, there's definitely a way for it. But the problem is, we need to have another hammer, which is the next tier up. Stone hammer. Now, what I want to show you here is very, very cool. Compressed cobblestone. Place this down. Go to break it. Oh no, that hammer is too weak to break that block. Isn't that just fantastic? So in order to break these, you have to upgrade your hammer. So something very interesting is that they've gone all the way to triple compressed cobblestone. So this is 81 blocks of cobblestone. And then this is 9 times 81. I'm not doing that in the top of my head. But yeah, that's a lot of cobblestone right there, right? That singular block, if you break that, I would imagine give you that much in return of gravel. But I would imagine, okay, I haven't actually tested this, but I imagine this would be something like diamond and netherite hammers. Maybe this is iron. This is stone, right? But who knows? In the future, they might be making copper tools, because obviously that's a thing coming, right? So obviously we get like these random rocks from, you know, the dirt mechanic, right? We can mix and match these with whatever you got, and you'll make a compressed stone block out of it. And yeah, this is a little bit weird though. You can just turn this bag into stone, and you've essentially cooked up 9 cobblestone for nothing. Woohoo! But who cares, right? And then you could go ahead and use this as a building block. So yeah, there is a bit weirdness, quirky things going on there a little bit. But rather than that though, you can actually just turn this into compressed stone, and you kind of guessed it there. You can just break this, and you got yourself another bit of compressed gravel. So it's a way of, what I'm saying is a way of using up your diorite, your andesite rocks, and your granite rocks if you're not into that, if you don't need them. So yeah, they're not just there taking up chest space, if you like, which is kind of cool, to be honest. Now, I noticed there's a thing in here called wooden shears. No mention of that in the actual book, but this is very, very interesting because, and very important, I would say, actually, as well, because what we're going to need to do is kind of get some leaves to get water, right? Because obviously we're playing in a world with nothing. We're going to need water. And there's something in the pack called Crucible. And what we could do is use some logs to get this. And you might have guessed it already. The shears, by the way, will allow you to pick up blocks. So I just went ahead and made the Crucible. It's just 6 logs, look, ignore that. And a slab. Not that expensive. But yeah, this thing looks like a little potluck, which is kind of cool. But yeah, we have to slap a leaf in there, a leaf block. And I believe it's just 2, right? And then you get a full bucket's worth of water out of it. But how do we get the bucket? Well, we need to sieve, right? And get a load of iron scrap. So I managed to get 4 jungle saplings, look. I want to give this a try. Is this going to work? Oh. Uh-oh. What happened there? Okay, it kind of worked. Ish. Yeah. Okay. Be wary with that one. Just want to point out there. So the jungle tree is pretty much no more. As you can see down there, we got a little bit of water. And also there's torches everywhere. Yeah, we got kind of swamped by a few hostile mobs there. I managed to kill them though because we are rocking pretty powerful weapons right here. But yeah, we've also gone ahead and got a couple of worms in these leaves because yeah, what I want to go ahead and do is try and get quite a bit of string because we're going to need quite a few meshes for what I want to do. Basically, in a short summary, what I'm going to say is I'm going to go sleep and we're going to go ahead and make 8 more little sieves. Look at that. We can exactly make 8. I swear I didn't plan that. But what we can do is put these adjacent like this in a 3x3 pattern and you can essentially sieve all of them at once. Because what actually happens when you sieve, because I don't think I've shown you this, is you put the item in and then you click, 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 and then you get the drop. Wow, we got a diamond scrap. That's the rarest thing, I think, which is kind of nice. But there is a new feature which is very, very nice. Much like when you're using the trowel on a dirt block or something. Yeah, you can just kind of hold your mouse on it and it just cycles through, which is huge. So yeah, this is really good for people who like to AFK. You can just kind of chuck a weight on your mouse or put an elastic band or something on your controller or whatever you do these days and away you go. Or you can even use an auto clicker if you're that cheaty. Whoa, we could put them all in at once. Wait a minute. Yo, and it takes them all out? What? That is mental. I didn't even know that was a thing. That's so satisfying. Jeez. I'm just using this stone hammer to get all this into gravel. And then we're going to do a mass session there of gravel sieving. But having all of these sieves like this, you're going to see how fast this is going to be. Oh my god. This is lovely. Look at this. Oh, this is beautiful. Hopefully we get enough iron here. Yes, we've just scraped it, I think. Perfect. Now, what we're also going to do is quickly gather up enough cobblestone here out of all of this, just so we can get a furnace. And with these scraps, this is what these are used for. So 4 of them give you a piece of the raw stuff in exchange. Now, I'm not sure if this add-on has added in raw emeralds. Oh, it has. Okay, fair enough. So there's probably raw diamond too. Okay, just want to point out. So if we just grab that, yeah, it's going to pop up. So I'd imagine you cook these in the furnace like you do with raw iron and stuff like that. And away you kind of go. But anyway, we got 3 raw iron there. And we do is chucking coal. Oh, no, we're not going to do it like that. We're going to turn this into coal nuggets. Because these will essentially cook up things a little bit cheaper for me. And I know there's only 3 pieces in there. I don't want to burn up a whole piece of coal, if you know what I mean. So yeah, this kind of works, I think. I'm not 100% sure, though. 1 nugget will smelt 1 item, maybe? Nearly? I think. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, so it must be nearly, look. Okay. So I'd imagine you would get... Wow, it's going to stop and be technically worth it in a way, because we're not going to burn through a whole piece of coal. Yeah, there we go. So that should technically stop right now. So something I just thought of then was grass blocks. Now, it doesn't appear to be any way of obtaining them, I don't think. So that could be something that could be added in a future update, maybe. If I type in that, no, there's nothing to do with grass. So yeah, it'd be nice like in this add-on if they added like a new seed type, as in grass seeds. Because when you're playing in a kind of world like this, it kind of is needed because how can we get passive animals? I mean, unless does the Wandering Trader sell grass blocks now? I'm not 100% sure. I know he sells moss from my memory, but yeah, grass blocks would be kind of cool. I mean, grass seeds from here. Because when we seal up dirt, you'll see, wow, it uses up all of them like that. That's so cool. We get seeds, right? So it'd be definitely easy to just chuck into the dirt kind of one as a rare drop or something. So yeah, if the guys are watching, it'd be kind of cool if you could have grass seeds. But anyway, bucket of water, done. We can put this back in and out, which is kind of nice. But this is a lovely little thing because we got 1 bucket of water. We can turn this into more because I killed some mobs, right? We got some bones. Now, if you didn't have any mobs, you could just go in here, obviously make yourself a vanilla composter and sieve up a load of leaves or, you know, bits and bobs that you can kind of compost, right? And get you a singular piece of bone meal for this little trick I'm going to do. But what we could do is just grab the bone meal, grab some gravel, I guess, because that's what we're going to use. And we could just put a piece of gravel down and then encase this with that singular block of water like that. And then we just place this block up here. Wow. I can't even see that water. That is so weird. But yeah, if we bone meal that, there is a chance of it becoming big, look. As you can see, the tall seagrass. When it does that, it becomes an infinite water source, basically. That's where I'm kind of going with that. So as I couldn't really see the water there, I just thought it'd be wise just to go to bed. So we got water. We got a way of making resources, which is nice. But now we need to go ahead and get a clay crucible, because this is how we make lava. And with lava, water, infinite stone, and everything else, we pretty much got everything to get to survive and thrive in this kind of environment, because then we can go to the nether, right? Thank you. And that should turn it into compressed dirt, compressed sand, and a new block type here, it's dust. And what we could do with that is put it in there, and it will turn into clay. Can we put the compressed in there? No, we can't. That's fine. So what we're going to do is slap that in there, do this like that, and oh, it uses up a little bit of water, look. That is a nice feature. So we can get 3 clay out of 1. I wasn't expecting that. This is the first time I've done this, so wow. Okay, not too bad to be honest on the ratios there. Have they added in the recipe where you could just do that? Nope. Okay, that would be a nice feature as well. So yeah, we just need to go ahead and get some bricks now then. And the clay crucible works a little bit different from the wooden one. That is because we need to go ahead and put this above a lit campfire look, which is kind of interesting because we're going to be going ahead and essentially melting down the cobblestone. So for that reason then, we need to go ahead and grab ourselves 3 logs. Just grab these 3 here and ignore this lovely floating tree that I've left. We're going to grab some coal here and turn it back into a piece of coal for now. There we go. And we'll grab ourselves a little campfire. Chuck you there for now. And we need just 1 more singular brick. We can make the clay crucible. And we're going to go ahead and put some cobblestone in there. Oh, okay. Again, first time seeing this, so cool. Pretty much the same sort of thing as that. I would imagine it takes 3 of these to get a bucket of lava. Right, so as you can see, it's just currently raining. And yeah, I've gone ahead and slapped in another piece of cobblestone into this. So that's the second one. And after that, we're going to have to go ahead and put another one in. So I'm going to put this here, and we're going to go for it like that. But what I wanted to do was test something a minute, because we got all of this just sat here. We could potentially make a little bit of crops going on here, if you know what I mean, while waiting around. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make a hoe, I think. And we're going to keep this crook in our hand here as well. Because obviously we got this mechanic where we can do shift growing, right? And I wanted to see if it works for this. Oh, it does. No way. Wow. That is pretty good. But I believe there's a step further to this, right? Now, we already did spot this at the start, and I did mention it. There's something in here called a sickle. And the book does mention what this does, but I want to show you because it's more fun. Yeah, this thing can auto-harvest, I believe. Let's give this a go. It actually does. So you can just hold this in and click it, it auto-replants it. Oh my god. So there's another feature with this sickle which is very, very powerful as well. And I believe this thing works in a massive radius. Here we go. We get to see this in action now. Okay, so I got potatoes, wheat, beetroot, and carrots. Now that is amazing. I don't know if it used durability for all 4 of them, but my god, that is pretty good. Right, I can see my lava is done, so that should be the next one. Perfect. Okay, ultimate test. Boom. And it auto plants it, man. Oh, jeez, that is something else. That is amazing. Oh, I like that. That's a really good tool, that one. Brilliant. So I'm just currently reading here on this sickle in the book, and it says that they can be faster. So I don't really know what that technically means. Maybe only faster when you do this sneaking thing to grow them? Is that what it means by that? I'm not 100% sure. So if you've got a keen eye, you can see I got a lava bucket down here. We just went ahead and scooped this thing up. It's ready, which is nice. And yeah, what I'm going to go ahead and do now is make myself a little trowel here. I'm only going to make a wooden one. And we're after getting quite a bit of gravel here once again, because we need to go ahead and get quite a bit of iron for the next thing I want to show off, which is a cobblestone generator. Now, I've not actually seen this, but it's pretty self-explanatory. I believe, if you place a container of any sort underneath the cobblestone generator, it will generate said cobblestone underneath it, look. And this goes for hoppers as well. So yeah, you could pretty much make very easy cobblestone automation right there. Now, please bear in mind that this is the slowest, and look how fast we're getting that already. Now, it does say the rates in the book, wherever I put it. So let's have a little look here. Automation, go down to cobblestone generators and generation tiers. Cobblestone is 1 block a second, yeah? Iron is 8 blocks a second. Gold is 16. Jeez. 64 blocks a second for netherite. Yeah. You're gonna have that much cobblestone, you're not even gonna know what to do with it. Like, seriously? Oh my god, I've almost got a stack of this stuff already. So next thing I want to look at is these botany pots. Now, I'm just currently cooking up some copper that we've got, obviously, from sieving. And from memory, I think this was only 5 of these. Oops. So let's go ahead and do this. Yeah, there we go. So a botany pot here. I'm a little bit excited for this one. Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool. Now, if we go onto the book here, I think what we need to do is make some compost for this. Compost is required for botany pots. It can be also used as decoration. Craft 2 dirt and a bone meal to obtain it. Use a sickle and a full composter to remove the block. Okay, I'm not entirely 100% sure what that means, but we'll figure that out. So we got a bone in here that we got from skeletons that we've been killing. And I think we're going to have to get a couple of pieces of dirt here. Not to worry, though. Shouldn't take too long. I think it said 2 pieces of dirt and 2 pieces of bone, was it, or something? Yeah, okay. So it's a bit like how coarse dirt is. We got that. And if we break it with a sickle, it drops the item. Is that what that's kind of saying here? I don't really know what it means about the sickle. Either way, it doesn't really matter. I think we just put this in there. There we go. And I'm guessing you literally just put in a sapling like that. And away it goes, look. We got a stick. We got a sapling. So sticks and saplings are definitely confirmed. Not sure about leaves. We'll have to figure that out as we go. Cool. Anyway, how are we doing in here? Oh my god, we're doing very well. Please bear in mind, no, this is tier 1. Jeez, that is pretty insane, the amount we just got. Compressed cobble, double compress. Right, let's confirm what this says then. Is he going to say iron or higher? Yeah, Dan is right. So I'd imagine triple then would be diamond and above. That's kind of how this is going to work, I think. Okay, well, I'm pretty much sure I've covered most of the things here. If not all of them. Now, there might be some things I'm missing, but that's kind of for you guys to find out and see as we go. Oh, and apparently when you open this, it lights up, which is kind of interesting. Not too sure what's going on there. And I've also lost my bed. Wait, what? Okay. Be careful when you're opening this book then, apparently. Because you just lose your bed. Yeah. So this is the auto sieve in all its glory. It kind of looks like it's got a hopper kind of design going on there. And this is the auto hammer. And yeah, what I've gone ahead and done is just set these two examples up right here. As you can see, these things require 0 power, redstone, or anything. They literally just do it and work, which is a very interesting feature. This breaks it or crushes it at this speed, which to me is really slow. Like, I'm talking snail speed here. Compare that to this little thing over here. Yeah, this is pretty fast. I mean, you're going to get backed up. So what I would suggest is probably make as many of these as you can facing into these chests. And away you kind of go like that, I would say. Because you are going to be really backlogged with cobblestone if you're going for this kind of method. So yeah, let's put all these in here. And hopefully this will pump these out a lot quicker. 3 times the speed. Now, this one is an auto sieve. And what I would recommend is you set this up and then you would set these up to auto sieve it, right? So you can use hoppers, you can use chests. I wanted to just kind of show you that if it's a container, it will work. That's kind of how it works. It says all this kind of stuff in the book. But yeah, I've slapped in the emerald mesh, which is the best tier, just so you can see the rates are a lot better of getting diamonds and emeralds look, which is kind of nice. And because of this setup here, this got my brain ticking and maybe yours, but I was thinking maybe we could go ahead and do something like this kind of thing. So we've got a chest directly into the hammer. Going into the sieve, no, it just doesn't work like that, unfortunately. But if you want to do something like this to set these up together, you can obviously just go ahead and do this. Then you put a chest in the middle of it, I guess, and then a hammer. And then I guess you could put another chest on top, right? And that would hammer the dirt, look, and you can see it, which is really nice. So that would get crushed down into sand, and then it would sieve up the sand, and then it gives me iron and whatever other bits sand give me. Now, I really like this, but yeah, this hammer needs sorting, I think. Personally, I would say. At my own little heart there, it just seems a little bit too slow for like how fast this cobblestone generator generates. And this is the basic tier. Yeah, there's definitely some sort of speed issues there. Maybe they could enhance this a little bit and make upgrades for it or something, because it's a bit slow. That's my only concern with this. But yeah, that's pretty much this add-on in a nutshell. It's not like gonna blow your mind with crazy weapons and things like that. It's not supposed to be for that. It's just a way of getting all different resources from nothing, which is really good. And it definitely does work, which is really, really cool. There's some really interesting mechanics though, especially this, how they managed to pull this off. So in the scripting department, they've done very well with this add-on, I would say. But yeah, that pretty much gives you a little bit of a summary. I'm DanRobzProbz. And yeah, definitely give this one a go. It's very cheap and perfect for expanding your Skyblock Flatworld challenges. That's for sure. Anyway, I will see you hopefully in the next one. Bye!